Jim Starr.
Hi, welcome to Jim Starr Hockey and Friends, and welcome Josh Gearhart, uh, play-by-play broadcaster and director of communications for the Hershey Cubs. You can find out more about the Cubs at HersheyCubs.com. Can't get any simpler than that, can you?
No, it's pretty simple. All of our information's on our webpage, and if you're looking for more detailed information, you can find everything also on our social media pages on Instagram as well, which is just simply Hershey Cubs as well on there.
And you have some uh, YouTube site?
Yeah, we have two different YouTube pages. We have the Hershey Cubs, which is basically a whole bunch of our digital communications, so digital videos, stuff like that. And then we have our actual The Roar, just simply The Roar, which you'll find our podcast. It features players, coaches, and all team personnel. And then you'll also find our other pregame show called The Cubs Corner on just the Hershey Cubs page.
Okay, and uh, that's just on the HersheyCubs.com. Or is that just all on the YouTube? Those
Yeah, that's all on the YouTube. That's all on the
oh,
YouTube. There are links to like our YouTube and stuff like that through the website, but it's just a simple search on YouTube and you should be able to find it.
all right. If I confuse you folks, just rewind this and play it over again. So Josh, how are the Cubs doing this year?
Pretty solid. I just checked. The elite team is still first in the division. They are first in division, and the two teams below them right now are the Red Bank Generals, and also beneath them is our arch nemesis, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. So that's one of our biggest rivalries, I'd say, whether it's Premier or Elite. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights and Hershey Cubs always seem to go at it when they face off against each other, and it's some fun competition there. The Premier team, they had some big strides this weekend that were made. They had a huge upset victory against the Elmira Impact, which
Hmm.
they were not favored to win in that match, if I'll put it lightly. Elmira, when they came into that game, they were like the third best team in the country at that point in time. And Hershey upset them, had a huge win. One of our captains on the Premier team, Jamison Flint, had his first ever career hat trick. So a
Wow.
lot of big things happening in that game, which was huge for our team to kind of get the ball rolling. But then they fell short in the game then on Sunday, losing that one 4-3. So they are currently 3 places above that last place spot. And I know that might not seem great right now, but they are on an upward trajectory right now.
All right. Now you mentioned two teams. Are they both called the Cubs?
Yes, so they're both called the Hershey Cubs, but they play in two very different leagues and divisions. So the elite team is a lower level division. So think of that as a high level AAA. So a very high level AAA team. And then whereas Premier is the cream of the crop, if you will. Premier is like the top tier talent. The game is a lot faster. It is the second highest division in the USPHL, only behind NCDC, which stands for National Collegiate Development Conference. And a lot of those kids are going to end up playing high level NCAA, including D3. So a lot of those kids could end up playing D1. So that's like the big difference between those two levels. But the USPHL Premier is very high paced game of hockey, very aggressive. So they're both very competitive levels, but you can see a difference between elite and premier for sure.
Okay. So the Premier is what we're hearing the most about, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about both teams, but I will say like the elite team is definitely our better team right now. They're
oh,
having more success on the ice, and they just broke a 4 game losing streak this past weekend. So they finally, for the first time in their 2 year program history, they actually have eclipsed their point totals from last year already. So they've already set a franchise record in points on the year. So they're hot right now. They're the hot talk of the town.
and can the guys go up or down between the
Yep.
two teams?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having two teams. We didn't always used to have two teams. When we started back with the Hershey Cubs in 2021, it was only just a premier team. And it was like that for as long as I can remember. And we just recently got an elite team a year ago. So the elite team is brand new and they're
Oh,
doing this well, which is a great thing. But that is indeed the beauty of having both teams. You can call guys up and down the lineup. So if you have injuries on Premier, you can have guys from Elite slot up and fill in those roles. Whereas it's the same in the Elite. If they have a guy who gets injured and they're losing a couple spots, you could have a guy bump down from Premier. Obviously, the bump down from Premier to Elite is a little bit less likely, but also like if an individual isn't performing well on the Premier level, they might send him down to Elite for like a conditioning stint, get him rehabbed, get him back to where he was at, and send him right back up to Premier. So it's a really great way to send players up and down and keep them competitive.
yeah. And if you ever get really low on the bench on the Elite League, give me a call.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think I still have one skate in the closet,
Hey,
so
that works. That works. Well, one skate's better than no skates, I guess, right?
exactly. So you play in the old Hershey Park Arena.
We do. Hence my beautiful background behind me here right now. I wish I was
Ah,
there, but yeah, this is just a background. It'll do for now.
oh yeah, that's right. That's a screen. You're at home right now.
I am. Yeah, yeah. The Hershey Park Arena it's amazing to play there. I think for the kids who play both on our Premier and Elite teams, it's kind of like a huge pinch me moment for them, right? Because you have to think about all the history that was made in that arena before the next generation has now, playing there. So if you look back, I mean, the majority of the Hershey Bears Calder Cups won in that arena. Wilt Chamberlain had his 100-point game in that arena.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant played in that arena. And that doesn't even count the list of concerts, the presidents that have spoken in this arena. So anytime you're walking in, I mean, you're walking on history. So, and I'll go as far as say, I mean, we are probably the luckiest team in the United States Premier Hockey League to have this venue, or as I always like to call it, the old barn. Nothing beats the old barn.
Yeah. We all know what the old barn is around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you don't even get me started on the history at Hershey Sports Arena,
Yeah,
Hershey Park Arena, and now the old barn. But yeah, I go back to 68, 69 Cup with the Bears.
yeah.
That's when I started. So
Yeah, and it's crazy too, from my perspective, to be in the booth every weekend where so many championships and so many great names were called. Honestly so honoring and humbling. It's a really great experience, for somebody who grew up here all his life. It's awesome.
so somebody can find out the schedule of the elite team or the Cubs on the website HersheyCubs.com, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So both schedules can be found on one individual graphic. We separated them between Elite and Premier, so you can see the Elite times as well as the Premier times. And that is also on our social media page as well. So it
Well,
is posted all across our channels.
aren't both schedules the same because they do a double header every time?
So yes and no to that. So Elite will always likely play first.
Yeah.
So for example, let's go back to this past weekend against Almara. Elite had a game at like 12:30, and then after that game ends, they'll have an ice cut, and then Premier will come on for warm-ups, and then the Premier game starts around 3:30. So they'll always try and play the same teams, but like for example, this weekend, Premier plays a team that does not have an elite team in their organization.
Okay.
So Elite will play a different team this weekend than Premier does. Typically, though, they will do a double homestand with the same teams. So like when Premier plays Elmira twice on a Saturday and Sunday, Elite will play Elmira on a Saturday or Sunday or vice versa. But
Okay.
when a
So
team like yeah,
the other premier team has to have the lower level elite
correct. Correct.
team, and then you get a double header.
Correct. You'd still have a double header most times, but it just might not be the same team.
Yeah.
Like
By
for
the way,
this weekend's a double header. You're just getting two different teams.
okay, this weekend on Saturday.
So we have all three weekend games. We have a game on Friday, we
Oh,
have we have two on Saturday, and then two on Sunday, I believe.
okay.
So
When you say two, you mean where both teams have the
correct.
elite and the premier.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so actually, let me rephrase that. There's only one game on Friday,
Yeah.
two on Saturday, one on Sunday. So it's a little bit of an odd weekend because typically it's two on a Saturday, two on a Sunday, and that's about it. But this weekend is a little bit of an outlier in that sense.
Okay, and all right, so check out HersheyCubs.com
Yep, you
and
got it.
find out the times as well, right?
Yeah, you can actually purchase tickets online at our website as well, so you don't have to buy them when you come in at the door. All you have to do is click on the link to purchase tickets. You can do take care of all that right then and there.
All righty, and how much are tickets?
I believe tickets are for children. I believe they are $5 and $10 for adults, but I could be wrong on that. But different prices then for children and for adults.
All right, but around that 10,
Correct.
maybe
Yeah,
15
yeah,
at the
absolutely. Yeah.
most.
Yep.
Okay,
And then each ticket also gives you a voucher to our main sponsor, the Spot Hometown Deli in Elizabethtown. So your ticket is good for, I think, $5 off your entire meal if you then present your ticket at the counter during
just
your purchase,
just because you went to the game.
just because you went to the game. That is
You don't have
correct.
to score 20 goals or something.
Nope, there's not a McNugget minute. There's not a 20 goal. There's nothing like that. You go to the game, you get
Wow.
$5 off your meal. Yeah,
Okay, not bad if
cool
you're in
deal.
the E-Town area.
Yeah, and that's a great spot for lunch, breakfast, you name it. It's a great place to grab a bite to eat.
What's the age group of these kids in the Premier League?
Yeah, so for, the USPHL in general, not just Premier, it is kids ages 16 to 20 with the main goal of the league
Okay.
being player advancement. You want kids to grow, to develop, and then move on to that next ranking. We always say here at Hershey, you're here for a short time, and that will make it a good time while you're here, but we don't want players to kind of just hang around per se. The goal is always player advancement, personnel advancement, 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 advancement.
So when they hit 20, get out of here.
Pretty much. I mean, when they hit 20, it's called an age out, so they can no longer play in the league. So they typically, once they hit 20, we have programs in place in Hershey to help them find their next, playing spot, whether that be college or another league. And I know a lot of guys, for example, we have a lot of kids who from previous years and, current years have gone on to play American Collegiate Hockey Division One with IUP. We
So that,
we have a very big pipeline to IUP, and that's really good hockey up there at ACHA Division One.
and that's their goal, right?
Absolutely.
These are for players that are coming from high school, basically, or I guess, yeah, high school, right? There's four grades in high school.
Yeah, so you mean you could have kids as young as 16. I
Yeah.
remember last year we had a goalie who was an absolute standout. His name was Noah Fobb. And I think when he came to us in Hershey, he was a brand new 17-year-old. Like he just turned 17. And he was probably one of the best goalies I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've
Mhm.
called games at the college level. I've called NCDC games. So I've been around the horn a little bit. I've seen some pretty decent goalies. He by far, out of all the talent I've seen, I really do think he has a chance to make the AHL, if I'm being
So
honest.
the kids in the age group of high school, if they're not able to go right to college and play at college level, you are the answer.
Pretty much. Yeah, and that's the way the world is kind of going. We're seeing a lot of kids who are not playing for their high school hockey teams anymore. There are a lot of them who are opting to do this junior hockey route because there's a lot more exposure. So because, for example, the Hershey Cubs this season, which is the most they've ever had in their 5-year existence, this is our 5th year anniversary. They have never had a year in which they've been to 3 showcases, and showcases are all across the country. So, for example, they're going to one here soon in Detroit, which is outside of, the USA Hockey National Development Program area. So there's going to be a lot of good teams out there. They're going to one in Florida, and they just got back from one as well. So they go to and it was actually in Boston. So they went to Boston, they're going to Detroit, and then they're going to go
Wow.
down to Florida for the Tampa Bay Lightning Junior Showcase down there. So, and every time you go to these showcases, there's an abundance of scouts. So kids are guaranteed to get a lot of looks. You're getting to play against teams that you wouldn't typically play against because in our Atlantic division, we're never going to face a team from Boston. We're never going to face a team from Florida unless we play in the playoffs against them. So these
Okay.
kind of showcases offer our kids and our players a great way to showcase their talent on the national stage. And that's where you're going to get the opportunity to get commitments and advancements.
So there's going to be some college scouts at
Oh,
the
absolutely.
playoffs.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is a nice stepping stone from high school to college. Um,
Yes.
I can see a kid saying, "Hey, I want to go to MIT or whatever and play hockey," and the parents go, "Go to the Hershey Cubs and get better and get yourself a scholarship."
That's exactly kind of what we're looking to do here because
Yeah.
not only are we looking to develop great hockey players, we're looking to develop great human beings off the ice. I mean, that's our
Okay.
whole commitment because a lot of times people don't realize what the halo and our logo stands for. It can be a little out of place, it seems like at times, but that halo represents the good we do in the community, which is, the huge, it's at the top of our priority when it comes to developing players, making them great young men. That to us is more important than any success you have on the ice.
Well, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because teams want those kinds of players that are mature and not going to get in trouble and love to
Absolutely.
participate in the community like the Bears do. And you guys kind of do the same thing. You go out into the community too.
Yeah, and we're always, strong presence in the community. We do a lot with Cocoa Packs, a local organization dedicated to fighting hunger right here in our own backyard. We do a lot with reading to children at the library. I think they've been to the library the past like 2 or 3 weeks. They participate in parades, they do fall festivals, the list goes on. So for us to be out in the community a lot, it's a huge thing for us and these players.
Can they do laundry and wash dishes?
I
I'll
don't
give
know, but
you
maybe we can make an arrangement for that.
yeah, I'll give you a call then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, so there is one player on the premier team that on the Cubs whose dad is someone we all know.
Yeah, his name is McGregor King, and his dad is the now coach of the Hershey Bears. And it's fun to have him around in the locker room because he's just an overall great guy. He's a great guy, but he's a phenomenal player. And he is the team player first. Like you can see the way he plays, it's not a self-centered approach. He plays very driven towards the team goals. And that's what I think a lot of people like about him. But I think the premier team doesn't really have that one clear star. It's comprised of a whole bunch of players who know their role, know their assignment, and they're able to go out there and get the job done together. This is probably the most complete team I've seen from the Hershey Cubs premier level in a long time because we had a great team back when I was an intern in like 2022, 2023 era. And that team was great. That team was a phenomenal team, but there were a lot of players on that team who were playing for themselves.
And this is full contact, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like you're gonna see some pretty big time hits. Yeah. It's full contact for sure. Buckle
I,
up the chin strap, full contact.
yeah. Okay. Uh, Now I do want to ask you, where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm a Hershey boy, born and raised all my life. I've never lived anywhere outside Hershey. Even when I went to college, I went to Millersville University, which was about a 45-minute drive from home, and I actually did commute the first 2 years just because I wanted to stay close to home because I was involved here back with a lot of things, and it really wasn't that big of a deal for me to always commute in and out of Hershey. But I mean, Hershey for me is home. The hospital here saved my life back in 2007. I was a Children's Miracle Network child who was diagnosed with necrotizing pancreatitis. I know that's a big mouthful, but basically what that means in short is that my pancreas one day just decided to rupture. Internally ruptured, and I went into DIC, sepsis, and a coma. I think at one point in time, I had less than a 40% chance to live. So
And you were how old?
I was 7.
7.
Actually, no, I would have been 4.
Yeah.
I would have been 4 years old because it happened in 2007. So I would have been 4 years old.
Mm.
And it was a crazy life altering moment for me. So I
At
think for
4.
me, yeah, I think for me, this community means so much just because I wouldn't be here without the doctors and nurses in this town. But also, like, Hershey to me has always been home. there's a huge sense of pride and community in this town that you
Hmm.
really don't find anywhere else.
Yeah,
So for me, being able to put on the headset every weekend in, this great town, this great arena, it means a lot to me.
yeah, yeah. Tell me about your experience as a high school hockey player. Now, you went to Hershey High
I did.
and then college at Millersville, and then you played amateur hockey after college.
Yeah, so I played all throughout high school and middle school. I played on the high school team there, had a lot of great memories there. I mean, Hershey High School hockey is well known for being a dominant program in the area. So I'm thankful for the time I had there. And then from high school, I committed and was recruited to Millersville University to play on their ACHA, which stands for American Collegiate Hockey Association, their Division III team. And
And
I
that's when
don't
you
think
got it. That's when you got interested in broadcasting.
Yeah, and I think the whole roundabout way that happened was I don't think I fully realized at first that when you're a college athlete, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job, it's a full-time commitment, and I was having a hard time staying in the lineup, staying healthy, which is a huge thing for me. I wasn't able to stay healthy. I was getting injured a lot. So the broadcaster at the time at Millersville was basically doing everything by himself. And I mean, you're a former
Wow.
broadcaster, I'm a current broadcaster, that's a lot for one person to do. And as
Yeah.
talented as he was, he needed help. He needed help, and he realized that I was a media arts, minor, communications major. Gave me a call one day and goes, "Hey, I know you have a game later that night. The D2 team plays at 7. Can you give me a hand on color? I know you're a player. You can probably talk about things from a player's perspective." And I was honest with him. And
You
I was
tried it and
like,
you liked it.
yeah, and I was like, I've never called a game my entire life. I was a writer all 4 years in high school, never was an on-air personality, but I was like, you know what? We'll give it a shot, see if it
Yeah.
works.
You,
Many
even though
years,
you have a face for radio, you still tried it and things worked out.
yeah, many years later, we're still here, and now I'm the voice of the Hershey Cubs. So I think things worked out in my favor.
Now, when you were you're engaged
I am, yes.
to your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. We played on the same high school hockey team, so all roads lead back to hockey basically for us. And she was actually my goalie in high school, and it was funny because she would always jab at me because I never back checked. I never ever would back check. I was one of those players who was very offensive minded. And when I saw there was an odd man rush going the other way back towards my now fiance in the net, I'll look back and be like, yeah, she's got it. I trust her. She's got it. She did. She did. She made the
Yeah,
save. But looking forward now, I'm like, you know what? I probably should have been a little bit more supportive on the back end.
yeah, guys get in a lot of trouble from women, and but very rarely is it for not back checking.
Yeah, yeah, but things worked out for us, and it's crazy how life kind of comes full circle. So,
That's a whole nother doghouse to me.
yeah.
So, okay, now in your many responsibilities, real quick, you with the Cubs, you also have a day job.
Yeah, so I'll kind of talk briefly about that, what that looks like. So from, 8 to 5, I work as a communications coordinator with Select Medical. I do PR from a recruitment standpoint. So I'm building out, campaigns, doing videos, all that kind of stuff from 8 to 5. And then when I get home, my 5 to like 8 or whenever I'm finished, really, is all Hershey Cubs. So, and it typically looks very different day by day. So, like Mondays, for example, I'm kind of formulating my plans for the week. And I also oversee two interns right now. One is a communications intern on our staff, the other is a video intern. So I'll review stuff with them, give out assignments to them, and then I'll handle my own tasks. So
So
that
you're
includes,
a social media guru.
oh yeah, oh
You're
yeah,
like doing everything all over the internet
yeah.
and marketing and
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Got my hands in everything, and
yeah.
I do a lot of podcasting. So we try and do at least one Cubs Corner a week, which is our pregame show. So that'll recap the games from this past weekend and then preview the upcoming matchups this upcoming
You're
weekend.
you're working I think you told me 14 hours a day.
It's
That's,
like it's like 8 hours a day. So it's like 8 hours a day, but
well, I
40
mean,
hours.
between the two
Oh
jobs.
yeah, honestly, if you're adding up the two, yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of work, but I mean
Yeah.
it's fun. It's great to be doing so many different things, and I don't think I know a life in where I can't be busy. I think I always have to be busy, have my hands doing something. So yeah, it's just kind of who I
You
am, I
weren't
guess.
busy back checking, but anyway,
Yeah.
uh, I'm going to do my impression of the goalie from the movie Slapshot. All right, you ready?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Who owned the Cubs?
So the Cubs are owned by Crystal and Bruce Boudreau, who are two very notable names in the Hershey hockey community. Crystal's kind of like the brains of the operation, but Bruce kind of oversees everything. And basically, Bruce will actually help out with the coaches, coaching staff, run some practices every now and then. And he's honestly a great source of connections for us because for these kids, they had Matt Strome, the, game 6 game-winning goal man out there leading, not just practicing with them. Matt Strome is actually leading their practice to start off the year, and Bruce is out there as well. So, I mean, can you imagine as a 16 to 20-year-old young teen playing hockey, you're having a practice led by Matt Strome and Bruce Boudreau? I think I'd be tickled pink. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I met Matt, great guy. Actually, the championship T-shirt behind me there.
yeah.
Um, I have. Oh boy, here we go. That old man thing. Uh, who scored? Oh, come on, Vecchione.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vecchione was the game 7 hero and Strome was
He,
the game 6 hero.
I've got Vecchione's autograph above this cup,
Look at that. That's
and
awesome.
I got Matt Strome above this cup autograph.
Yeah, and the way the team is owned and operated to me is so professional. It's run like an NHL or an AHL organization.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a set role, function. We all work together to achieve a common goal. But like the players from the day they're coming in, whether it's their first year with the Cubs, second or third year, they're treated like professional players. They have world-class amenities. We have training staff provided by Penn State Health, which is one of the best athletic, healthcare providers in the nation.
Well, is
So
Beaker there? Dan Stuck
he
is
is one of our key stakeholders. Yeah, so
yeah.
he's involved with the team as well. We have generous donors, a lot of great sponsors helping us out. So the Hershey Cubs is really owned and operated by a collective effort.
It's just
But
like in the AHL. The
yeah,
Cubs are the team to play for because it's in Hershey.
yeah, and yeah, it's in Hershey. And I mean, we hear this, this phrase all the time. Everybody who is anybody in hockey has played in Hershey, and that's the same way it is here at the Hershey Cubs.
Now, do you know who said that phrase?
Wasn't it Gordie Howe?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised for somebody that was born 2 weeks ago.
I know, right? A little '03 baby over here.
Yeah, yeah, he did say. I met him um, real quick, 5 seconds. I walk in the press entrance at the Giant Center. I walk up the elevator or to the elevator. His son, Gordie Howe's son, uh, mm, Mark, Mark Howe, not
That sounds
Marty.
about right. Yeah.
And hi, Mark. Hi, Jim. I brought my dad this evening, and it didn't click.
It didn't click right away.
No, and I looked over to where his dad was standing,
There's Gordie Howe,
Gordie Howe.
Mr.
And
Hockey himself.
for the first time, I know what when I hear people say, I was speechless. I could not say a word. That's how I was. I
That
really
I mean,
was.
I don't even know how I would have been in that situation. I know for me, the Boudreaux are very supportive of everybody on staff. So they wanted to recognize all the hard work I was doing last year. So they gave me a shadow with the Washington Capitals broadcasting team. So
Wow.
when I first walked up into the booth and saw John Walton, Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin, I think my mouth about hit the floor
Yeah.
because I was standing next to, in my opinion, probably the greatest broadcasting trio
Oh yeah.
in the entire NHL.
Yep.
And I was there getting to learn from them, beside them. And when I was walking out, probably a lot of people in the Hershey Bears fan group were going to hate me for saying this, but I'll be honest.
Oh,
Gr growing up, I was a huge Penguins fan. I was a huge,
oops, I gotta go. I'm
I know there's
sorry.
there's a there's a strike against
We're
me.
running out of time.
I know, right? I was a huge Penguins fan growing up, and in that game, the Capitals were playing the Pittsburgh Penguins. And when I was walking out, I walked out and Brian Rust walked right beside me and he goes, "Have a good night." And I'm like, "Yeah, you too, Brian Rust. You have a wonderful night as well." Like it was a pretty crazy moment for some, just little kid from Chocolate be on a big
Yeah.
stage like that.
You'd be surprised how many of the top big guys in the NHL are just so down to earth and friendly.
Absolutely. Well, that's the same way with Bruce. Like Bruce comes to almost every single one of our home games. And if you didn't know who he was, he would just be sitting in the corner with a t-shirt and his jeans. Like he's an average guy just who did extraordinary things.
Mhm.
And he's just a remarkable character too. And that's the way Hershey is. Like it's just a great, great community.
Right, we got about maybe 6 minutes left, roughly, and I'm going to talk now for about 5.5 minutes. You just sit there and relax. I'm just kidding. When a player or when the fans come to a Cubs game, you've got merchandise there, Cub
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yep.
You have concession stands
Yeah.
there. There's food and sodas, and then you even have a teddy bear toss night.
We do, and that is one of our biggest promotions to date. It'll be on December 19th this year, so mark your calendars. The Elite will play at 4 o'clock, so if you can, get off work a little bit early, try and be there early, but Elite is at 4 o'clock, and then Premier will follow that at 7 o'clock. And it's an amazing, amazing game. And I
Yeah.
think for these kids too, like, it's the most iconic goal of the entire season. Everybody wants to be that guy. Everybody wants to be a guy that has some role in that goal. And then, just like the Bears, when those teddy bears start raining down at HersheyPark Arena, all the players kind of have fun. They'll jump around in them, help clean them up. But it's just a great night, especially around the holiday season, too. It's really special because the Bears then will be donated to local schools for underprivileged children in need. So the fact that we can use our platform to impact so many other people in our community.
Yeah.
That to me, I try not to have favorites, but it's hard to be romantic about the teddy bear toss game. So if you can get there this year, please get there. It'll be a lot of fun.
When is it again?
December 19th at 4 o'clock and a 7 o'clock. So premiere is 7 o'clock and then elite is 4 o'clock. I know that's a Friday night as well.
And it's going to be a toss at both games?
Yes.
Wow.
That's also one of the coolest things about the Hershey Cubs. Your single ticket gets you two games for the price of one.
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen with the Bears, right? Your single ticket only gets you one game. It doesn't even get you parking nowadays. But
Well, there is free parking to the Old Barn and the Premier games, right?
oh yeah. So if you come
Yeah.
to Hershey Cubs games, you're not paying $35 for parking.
Yeah.
Isn't that a glorious sight right there?
Oh yeah, you're paying 10, 15 at the most for ticket and then free parking. I mean, there's a lot of value in going to a
Yeah.
Hershey Cubs game or games on the same night. And I'm sure if you have a kid interested in hockey, that's the place to go
We
for
have
sure.
we have a lot of kids who look up to a lot of these older players, and the older players love that. So, for example, if you have a kid who's just trying to get into hockey, our players are so phenomenal with younger kids. I have watched players take a $200 stick
Oh,
and give it to the kid, autograph it for him, and say, "This is for you."
I will be there.
Yeah, like
I'm going to put that $200 stick with my one skate in the closet.
you'll be good to go then. But yeah, like our players are incredible when it comes to outreach and just overall being impactful to the younger generation
Yeah.
in hockey. And there's a lot of times in games where we'll actually have skate with the Cubs after the game. So all fans are invited to actually skate with the Hershey Cubs at Hershey Park Arena on the ice after the game.
Wow. Triple wow.
Triple wow, right?
So if they're
Yeah.
trying to learn how to skate, they can practice there for free. The Bears, the Hershey Bears used to do that
Yeah.
back in the 60s. I know for sure. And they would open up a half hour of skating for free after every Bears game before the Zamboni came out.
And the Cubs are really proud to do that because that really kind of
Wow.
showcases that this is the future of hockey in Hershey.
Oh
And we're
yeah.
trying to give back to the younger generation and keep this going. Like that's
Wow.
the whole reason why the Boudreaux brought hockey back to Hershey was because there was a need for this kind of high level hockey program in the local area. But because before the Hershey Cubs came around, all the kids who were very talented within our community were always going out to Philly for hockey, whether it be Westchester, to go down and play at Iceline, the Philadelphia Junior Flyers, the Little Flyers, the Valley Forge Minutemen, whatever it might be. All the kids who were really trying to make something of their hockey career
Yeah.
didn't play here. And that was the whole problem. When
Yeah.
you're such a hockey town like Hershey is, you can't be losing the local talent. That's the future of this great game. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what the Hershey Cubs are doing.
Well, that's great. That's great what you're doing over there, and Bruce certainly had a vision.
Bruce has a lot of great visions, and that man is a genius. He's an absolute genius.
So when you go to a Cubs game and get the schedule and the exact price, whether it's 10 or $15, uh, on HersheyCubs.com, get all the information. So you're talking free parking, $10
Yeah.
roughly for a ticket. You can get Cubs merch, concession stands with hot dogs, chicken strips. Is that what you call them there?
Yeah, that's what we call them there. They are quite the hot commodity. Everyone loves their good old
And
Hershey Park Arena chicken strips.
they're the same ones that are served at Giant Center, right?
Correct. Yes. Giant Center,
Wow.
Hershey Park, you're getting the same items there as well.
Yeah. That's yeah. Okay, so you're like selling AHL food there.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And then you could go to the teddy bear toss night, skate after the game for free.
Yeah. There's a
Uh,
lot of opportunities to really enjoy a Cubs game, and how could you not?
oh yeah, I really encourage everyone to try a couple, and you just might get hooked. So the again the website HersheyCubs.com, and are there any other ways that you could be reached? Whether it's email, phone number, what do you want
Yeah,
to
for any media inquiries, you can reach out to me at so that's JGEARHART03 at gmail.com, and I'll make sure I get back to you if you're interested about any media inquiries. But for all other stuff, you can find all information on our website. And Crystal is typically there manning the merchandise table at every single game. So if you have questions while you're at the game, she's more than happy to answer them. We have a staff who's very knowledgeable and very helpful for new time fans, long time fans. We're there to kind of make Hershey a hockey tradition.
Yeah, and Crystal is Bruce's wife.
Yeah, she's Bruce's wife.
Okay, well, my guest is Josh Gearhart, and that's the guy right over here. Look towards me a second, Josh. Turn your head towards me, the other way.
There. Oh,
Other
the other
way.
way. The other way. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
okay. I always wanted to do the what was the name of the family? Where they had the three people stacked on top of another three people. Oh, come on, Josh. You're
Oh, I'm
too
not sure
young
if I
for it, but
know, man.
you gotta help me out. The something family. Somebody put it down in comments. All right. Marsha. Brady, the Brady Bunch.
There it is, the Brady Bunch.
All right. Thanks for your help. Okay.
Yeah, a little late to the game there.
And Josh Gerhardt, the play-by-play broadcaster and director of communications for the Hershey Cubs. And thank you, Josh. Keep your head up.
Will do. Thank you.